Hello, and welcome to this episode of the EY Student Recruitment webinar series. The idea of these webinars is to help you on your application process journey with us, to develop your skills and make sure that you're as well prepared as possible for an EY Experience Day or final partner interview. My name is Claire, and I work within the student recruitment team here at EY, and will be hosting today's webinar for you. Today, I'm going to go into more detail surrounding our recruitment process, including the EY Experience Day, final interview, and I'll provide you with some hints and tips. I hope that this will be useful for you all. Now, you will have all gone through the initial stages of our recruitment process, but to ensure you are successful, I'd like to give you some more information on what to expect from now on. In particular, the next stages will be an EY Experience Day and for some of you, a final interview. You will find out if you have a final interview closer to the time. Please make sure you read all emails sent by the EY team. Let's have a look at the type of exercises you may experience towards the end of the recruitment process. This is not EY specific, but aimed to support you with all roles you are applying for. I've categorised these different exercises into three distinct groups: job-specific exercises, individual exercises, and group exercises. Let's take a look at job-specific exercises to begin with. Within this, you might be asked to conduct a piece of analysis. You might have to complete a written exercise where potentially an employer could be looking at your grammar and your written style and your level of English. And then also something a little bit different, you might have to take part in a role play. So where you're given a situation and then you have to role play the response from that situation with an interviewer who is potentially maybe acting as a HR director or your manager. So you'd have to put yourself in that situation and act as if you already had the job at a company such as EY. If we move on to looking at individual exercises, quite often this consists of a presentation where you're asked to maybe present on your strengths or your skills or a particular topic you can prepare for before the day. You might also get in-tray exercises. Previous ones that I've conducted have included different emails coming into an in-tray. You have to action different things. You might be timed with this as well. So it's really testing your priorities. You might also have to write some sort of report or a written essay or something like that, which again can take a little bit of time and might struggle potentially with time management. So something to consider really closely with those individual exercises. And then you come on to group exercises. So these ones you're going to get to the assessment centre or the latter stages of the recruitment process. You're going to have a group discussion, maybe some sort of team exercise, and also maybe a group presentation as well. So lots of different elements where you will need to be working within a team and knowing everyone on the day that you are working with. And that will help you as well to build those relationships and understand what kind of personality styles different people have on the day. Now this varies depending on the different company that you're applying through to. So let's have a look at EY in a bit more detail. And what I want you to remember is that the final stages of the recruitment process are not like an exam. They will be challenging, yes, but we need you to show your personality and your strengths. Let's have a think about what challenges you might come across that stop you performing to your best of your ability. Now, these are some of the ones that I've come across in my career at EY when speaking to students and making sure that everyone is as prepared as they possibly can for an assessment centre. To begin with, there might be unclear expectations. You don't know what's expected of you on the day, so make sure you get all of the information you possibly can from the employer. Read all of the emails that are sent previously beforehand, and just double check that there's nothing that you have to conduct before you actually attend on the day. So things like presentation prep or anything like that that you might miss out on otherwise. Time management is a key one. I've already alluded to this today, but running out of time is one of the biggest things. So make sure that you've got a watch with you on the day and that you might want to practice. Actually, nowadays, people don't necessarily write things down a lot. We have our computers, we have our phones. So if there's a written element to this testing on the day, then you might want to practice that as well and just see how much you can write within a specific time and that you've got a good set of pens as well, which sounds a little bit basic, but will massively help you. You might also end up performing not that well on one exercise. And this is something to consider because what you want to make sure you're doing is performing on every exercise during the day. Because if you don't do well on one, then that might mean that you don't get the role. So don't maybe put emphasis on the written exercise and less emphasis on the group exercise. Treat them all on an equal keel and put effort into every single one that you possibly can. Try not to also get distracted by other things going on. Might be a lot of people in the room or on the day, and everyone might not be going for the same role. You just don't know. So make sure that you're not distracted by your phone. If you've got other things going on outside of the assessment centre, just try and make sure you get in the zone. And that links really nicely to nerves and anxiety as well. Everyone is going to be nervous when it comes to the final stages of the recruitment process. It's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of people there on the day as well that you might be being assessed against or with, a lot of people to meet, network. So just try and relax, be yourself, and enjoy it. And that's one of the biggest things about EY, is that the process is as much about you actually getting something out of it and learning and developing your skills as it is for us to assess you. So just remember that and try and enjoy the day. Okay, so as I said, let's focus on the EY Experience Day and a bit more about what we do as a company. The Experience Day is a one-day event designed to feel nothing like a typical assessment centre. So even though we've spoken a little bit about what you might expect already, we kind of flip it on its head a little bit. There's a focus on learning and personal development as well as assessment. So yes, you will be assessed, but we want to help you develop. It provides a deeper understanding of EY's culture and business, and you have a lot of interactive downtime. It's engaging, and sometimes you will have some non-assessed activities, but you will also be assessed at different points during the day as well. It's fronted by our existing graduates and apprentices, so lots of opportunity to understand the culture at EY and to speak directly to people that were in your position recently. So as I've mentioned, learning in person, the EY Experience Day is a chance to really get a feel for the EY culture. You'll find out more about what we do, have a chance to meet your peers and talk to our people, as well as take part in a variety of interactive sessions that go towards the final decision. This is an ideal time to ask any questions. It's your chance to talk to the team. They are the best people to ask what it's like to work at EY. We also want to know what you think, especially around the connected world and how it impacts you, society, and business. So make sure you be confident and speak up and share your thoughts at every opportunity given. We don't expect you to have all the answers, but we are interested in your opinions and how you came to them. Also remember this is assessment day, so while you have the opportunity for downtime and networking, you will have timed assessments throughout the day, so best to come feeling prepared and ready. After the EY Experience Day, if successful, you may or may not be invited to a final interview depending on the programme that you've applied for. Personalised feedback will be available to everyone who attends, whether they're successful or not. So here's some photos of the EY Experience Day to give you an idea about what to expect. It's a whole day assessment event and it's designed to help you learn about EY as well as EY learning about you. There might be up to 120 attendees on the day, and you will visit different zones, each containing different activities and challenges. You will have the opportunity to meet EY graduates, peers, and people within the business. It's really important to bring your original right to work evidence with you on the day. If you don't, it might delay an offer being extended, so remember that passport. Now, I just mentioned around the different EY Experience Day zones. Here are the main 4 ones. Now, we can't go into these in full detail because we want you to still have a bit of unexpected challenge on the day, but hopefully these will help you understand a little bit more as to what is expected of you. Let's begin with challenge. Are you a good problem solver and do you have a head for numbers? You can find out within this part of the day. This is really about challenging you to go outside of your comfort zone. Innovate is about the evolving workplace. EY's global and technological reach, and what's the best way to help solve a business problem? You can tell us within this zone. Inspire. This is a really interesting zone because we're looking at EY's social responsibility and contribution to communities. We want to make a difference in the world, so share your ideas here. And then finally, explore. This part of the day is non-assessed. It's about EY's culture and values. looking for fresh ideas, down-to-earth advice, and you can grab a coffee, you'll find it all here. This just gives you the opportunity to chill and to talk to a lot of other people there on the day and get some food and drink. Candidates will visit each zone across the day. Within each zone, there will be different activities that you need to complete, of which the majority are assessed. There are a mixture of face-to-face assessments and virtual assessments. The day will begin with a speech from a senior EY stakeholder focusing on our goals and strategy for the future, and then you'll be equipped with a pack, including an iPad. You're responsible for managing your own time and structuring your own day. There will, however, be a graduate buddy to assist you. There's mandatory sessions that you have to attend, as well as optional activities in the Explore Zone. Now let's have a look at the final interview. As I mentioned, some of you may have this stage and some of you may not, depending on the role that you've applied for. We will let you know if this is the case, so please keep an eye out for any emails from the EY team. You should prepare for this interview by making sure you have thoroughly researched the business area, EY, and our culture. Consider the reasons why you want to work at EY, your motivations, and the strengths you can bring to the role. The interview will be face-to-face or by Skype, but this will be confirmed at the time. So make sure you've researched the business. Can't literally tell you this enough. Have a think about the culture, about EY. Think about your career goals. Consider your motivations to why you want to apply and what strengths you can bring to the role. Interestingly, we have a lot of people ask questions to the interviewer that might not be suitable. An example of this is, can I swap service lines if I don't enjoy the role? Have a think about what impression this might create. For example, with this one, you need to demonstrate your motivation and commitment to the program of choice, and this might create doubt in the interviewer's mind. You'll find out the outcome of your final interview soon after. We try and let you know as soon as possible. There are a few things to consider when preparing for your final partner interview. You'll normally receive some information on a topic 1 week prior to the day. You'll be asked to discuss this topic. Even though it might not be a direct presentation, you'll still need to come across positive and create a really good impression. There's time built in for Q&A following any discussions, but really make sure that you have any questions ready for the person that will be interviewing you. They want to learn about your core strengths and motivations to join the team, and you need to show your passion and enthusiasm for the role. Give examples of how you might prepare for the interview. Think about strengths that you've shown throughout the rest of the process, and asking yourself as well what questions you think you might be asked. This is a good preparation tool. So maybe go through with a family member and get them to suggest a couple of questions for you to think about. I know you can prep those and actually run through them with someone that you know so that you're more comfortable. Have a think about how you're going to add value to the business and your service line, why you're interested in a particular client or industry, what convinced you that the role is for you, what your key strengths are and how you can demonstrate them, and be enthusiastic and passionate about the role you've applied for. Now let's go on to some hints and tips for this part of the process. I've already stated this a lot today, but be prepared. Think about the questions you're going to be asked, think about the questions you want to ask, and consider each exercise about what might be expected of you. For the team exercises, be yourself, but also be seen. Take part and foster collaboration. A tip here is to really make sure you know everyone else in your group. So the more you can network and get to know people's names beforehand, the better. You want to include everyone, even if they have a slightly quieter or different working approach. For the written exercises, you're going to have a lot of information here, so focus on the content and the task at hand. Respond as if you already worked at EY and be careful of your time management. Make sure though that you prepare mentally for the day. Stay calm, keep focused, and I always try and make sure that I am in the right zone and mental capacity when you're taking on an interview or an experience day. So I tend to listen to some uplifting music before I come through to anything pressurized like this, and it just means that I'm ready to tackle the day in a positive way. Now, on a basic level, make sure you consider the practical details. Use Google Maps, whatever you like to use on your phone or anything like that to make sure that you've got the right route the day in advance so you know where you're going in case there are any issues. And plan to arrive in plenty of time. You can always go grab a drink and some breakfast beforehand if you're really early. It's better to be prepared than it is to be running late. We've already mentioned this a lot throughout the webinar today, but I just want to reiterate it again. Consider each exercise and get those questions ready. And then check what is expected of you. What are you expected to wear on the day? How long does the day last? What does it involve? We've spoken about this a bit today, but also check all the emails and the briefing documents that are sent to you beforehand, before you attend any interview or any experience day or assessment centre. If you miss anything, then it might mean that you can't be taken through to the next stage. So really make sure that you're prepared as much as possible. Thank you for listening to the webinar today on assessment centres, the EY Experience Day and final interviews. I hope that you found it useful, and remember, if you need any other information, our website is a great source. We have an option for you to see what the application process will be like per role and per service line, and that's really useful for you if you're not sure what your next stage is. But in the meantime, I wish you luck, and if you do have any questions, please get in touch.